wait continues, man. The wait continues. You know what I'm saying? I got some sad news. It's not really sad. It's just a bummer. I got some bummer of news that have happened in the video game world, the Shenmue game world. But anyways, what's up, everybody? This is Mr. Mike, Trucker Diary series here. I'm gonna split this in two segments. I'm gonna put this on pause once I get over to Lakeland to, change my load and then go back to Jacksonville. But for now, I'm gonna talk to you about some interesting news. Shenmue 3 is being delayed again. It's not coming out until November, was it 19th or 17th or something like that? Mid to late November. I think it's November 19th, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's been delayed again. The release date initially was August 27th of this year, but it's gonna be pushed back a few more months. So we're right in the thick of it. We had less than 3 months, essentially, before August 27th, and the time came. The time was coming along, and we're getting closer and closer to that date. And but they announced about 2 days ago that it's going to be delayed. They really want to They really want to make the game good, and they want to exceed the fans' expectations and really offer a great Shenmue experience. So I think at this point, it's of course it's bittersweet, whatever. This is not the first time it's been delayed. I believe they announced back in 2015, and the first release date that they announced was the end of 2017, and then it became the end of 2018. And then that time came around, and they gave an official release date, late last year. It's gonna be out August 27th. So everybody looked at that date as, yes, it's gonna be here finally. It's been about 18 years, close to 19 years before it's been about 18 years after the release of the second Shenmue, with its open-ended ending, and the story goes on, and a couple of generations later with video games, we are right on the tip. We're right on the front end of story going forward, and as you know, I haven't really mentioned Shenmue in the last few episodes, but I have to talk about this because it's been delayed again. But I mean, of course, I'm a little upset about that, but at the same time, I do understand. I understand a person like Yu Suzuki, the creator of the game, who created such franchises as Virtua Fighter, the old arcade games Afterburner and Hang On, and many other titles. And he was one of the head honchos of Sega, I think. But his masterpiece is undoubtedly Shenmue. That's his masterpiece. And from his standpoint, I really think he cares about the game, and plus he's using a completely different type of gaming engine, using different technologies, because everything has evolved since Shenmue 1 and 2. Everything has, the entire gaming industry has been revamped, and new technology has came in, and we have different ways to make video games now. since the original Xbox, and definitely since the Sega Dreamcast. And Yu Suzuki really wants to okay, jeez. Sorry about that. I'm over here changing lanes. Wow, that was close. But anyways, like I was saying, I'm sorry. Yu Suzuki really wants to make this game a really good and exciting experience for new people to play, and for the hardcore fans. He really wants to. He cares about the vision. He wants to make it as good as it can be. So the delays are understandable. They are and a lot of times they are necessary. But I think at this point, the brunt of the game is complete. Everything they wanted to add in the game is complete. And they just need, from their statement, they're saying that they just want to make it fine-tuned and make it as polished and as beautiful as it can be. So I guess a few more months we'll have them work on the finishing touches and things like that. So we're not gonna see it until the holiday season, essentially. So it's a bummer, but that's what it is. I still can't wait for this game to come out. It's been almost 2 decades. Throughout my video game consumption, I've played a myriad of unique games, interesting games, games that are considered avant-garde or unpopular. I played plenty of those. A lot of RPGs, a lot of action, adventure, a lot of fighting games, of course, and some sports games. So I played a lot of different stories of games. I remember playing The Last of Us, which I think Part 2 is coming out pretty soon. Very unique game. And I played that, while watching The Walking Dead. So you still had that sort of connection between those two, between that game and the show. A lot of similarities with that game and the show. But Walking Dead was one of those unique experiences in games. Other games like Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Nintendo 64. I played a little bit of the Wind Waker, but I didn't beat that one. I heard that was probably just as good as Ocarina. I don't know if I'm speaking blasphemy, but the only Zelda game I played all the way through was Ocarina of Time. I thought that was a very brilliant game, very beautiful game. And that was a very immersive, wonderful experience. And so I play games like that. I play games like Flower and other games that are just, very very just unpopular. But after playing Shenmue, I played it at a young age, 16, 17 maybe. And I played it because I got into it because my little brother's neighborhood friends, they were into video games. They were playing. His friend had this game on Dreamcast, and he was stuck on a part. He couldn't pass a certain area of the game, and I've never heard of it. Didn't know anything about it. He was telling me a little bit about the game, and since we had a Dreamcast at the time, and he was stuck, and I just asked him, hey, let me borrow that, and then I started playing it and just fell in love with the game. I thought the game was genius, and it's a very immersive, very beautiful story. You know what I mean? So I played that, and then I told the story of when I was in the Navy and when Shenmue 2 came out, and having to be in Hong Kong and while playing the game and the character and was in Hong Kong at the same time that I was there. So that was a great experience. And, and since then, some 17, 18 years later, we're still waiting on the third one. And we do know the third one is not going to be the conclusion of the story. Like, the story goes on after that. So it's like, it's just very drawn out, very great story that we only saw the first 2 parts of it, or played first 2 parts of it. And those first 2 parts were just, they were just everything you want. So, and now, this third game, we were, all the fans were excited. August 2017, they had a countdown going. We were less than 100 days. I think we were like under 90 days at this point. I think it was probably like 80 something, 88, 89 days, something like that. But now it's going to be pushed back a few more months. So it's back to, so basically adding 90 more days, essentially, to our wait. So it just, whatever it was, I think it was 89 days, maybe 90 days. So essentially it goes back up to 180 something days left. So it happens. I can't stand it. I mean, I've been waiting for this game for a while, but it's one of those things it's in their hands, and the creators of the game, producers, developers of the game, they want to make it good, and I really respect that. If it takes time, it takes time. So I just can't wait to play it. But that's the Shenmue news. It's kind of, and people are saying it's like heartbreaking and all this stuff. It's not that. I think people they do too much with the words. They go too far with words. You know what I mean? It's a slight delay. It's a bummer at best. It's and I know, because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. You know what I mean? And so having something delayed, you hope you can live to see the point to what you're trying to do. But it is what it is. It's kind of like waiting for, I guess waiting, if you're an Olympic fan, waiting for the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? It's every 4 years, and you want to see your favorite athlete from your country. You gotta wait a couple of years, after the last one, and all the preparation that goes into getting into the Olympics, all the stuff, and people get injured, and they have to bow out, they have to be dismissed from it because of their own circumstances, and you know what I mean. And for that period of time, anything can happen. So that's what I'm saying, and I understand that, but we just have to wait. That's what it is. It sucks, but it is what it is. And I know most of y'all probably haven't even played the game if you're listening, but I'm a Shenmue fan. It's one of the greatest video games I believe it's the greatest video game of all time. And it's not complete yet. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like watching Star Wars. Starting off with 4, 5, and 6, and then there's more. There's a prequel, then there's a sequel, then there's more to the story. You can get, you can dive a little deeper into characters and backstories and front stories and things like that. So it's one of those things that, once Star Wars announced they were gonna come out with 1, 2, and 3, that wait time took a while, and it's just one of those things. This game has been delayed so long, you know what I mean? A few more months is not really that big of a deal compared to how long we've been waiting. So, this is the current generation of video games, and how we've evolved with the internet and crowdsourcing and crowdfunding and getting fans and getting different people involved in the process. It's a new thing, and so when the creators decided, hey, we have these devoted fans, they want to see a game, they want to take more part in the story that's we found as beautiful. We wanted to continue it more, experience it more. You know what I mean? And so through several different efforts and propaganda around the game, all the social media groups and people who are just vying for the game, and even new fans who jumped on the bandwagon the last 2-3 years. They've never heard of the game. They played their first two, which was re-released, and played that, fell in love. We have new, and so and now they're taking part of the waiting game that we've been taking part of, a good portion of our lives. So but that's what it is. That's video game industry. That's where we are now. November 19th, I think is the date. So we just have to wait for that date, late November. So so that's that news. I hope you guys are doing well. I went down, I got up at 3 in the morning. I wanted to leave at 3. Well, actually, I got up at 2 in the morning because I had my girl with me. Despite what I'm talking about right now, like making love to my girl is like the pinnacle, one of the pinnacles of my life. I love her dearly. It's like just having that intimacy with someone who really loves you passionately. It's one of the most beautiful things you can experience as a human being. So I did that last night, made love to my girl. Like I said, I'm a truck driver. I live in this truck. I don't have a place to stay. She loves coming in here and just spending time with me. The bunk we have, it's not the biggest bunk, but it enables us to really be close with each other, and to cuddle and to do what we do. So, but yeah, we did that, and it was beautiful, and we just, like, love gives me energy. Her love gives me energy. So I'm very grateful and blessed to have her in my life to do that. Very beautiful experience. Because I just truly believe love finds a way. It finds a way. Throughout all the labels we put on things, throughout all the whatever circumstances we may be in, how we were brought up, whatever illnesses or whatever hang-ups or circumstances we may be in, disorders, or maybe like with all that, love finds a way to connect people. Love just finds a way to bring people closer together, and I do that with my lady. I love her dearly, and so we made passionate, sweet love last night. And so I got up but I mean, we went to bed kind of early because I had to get up, get on the road at 3 o'clock. So I got up at 2 in the morning, got ready, made sure she was home safe. But my load was supposed to have been ready, but it wasn't ready until about 4 o'clock, 3:45, 4 o'clock. So, I could have got a little extra sleep if I wanted to, but I mean, those things happen. So I started later than I wanted to. I was planning on leaving out by 3 o'clock, but that didn't happen. So, but I got up this morning, went to Orlando, did my load there, they unloaded me. So now I'm headed to Lakeland, and then headed back to Jacksonville. So basically the same thing I did yesterday. And what I'm going to do now is once I upload these clips on SoundCloud, I'm going to actually have it to where the SoundCloud clips are going to have music behind it. Music that I produced, that I've made. It's going to have beats running in the background. So if you go to the SoundCloud page, to Mr. Mike's page, it's not there now, but it will be. Hopefully it will be once you get around to listening to this. Go to my SoundCloud page, Mr. Mike. I think it's soundcloud.com/ I can't remember. I haven't been on my page in a while, but I still have it on there. I still have a few songs on there that some of them are not released. There's some different tracks that I've been working on throughout life. But I'm going to also add these Trucker Diary series podcasts on that SoundCloud, but it's going to have music behind it. So if you go to the SoundCloud page, you're going to see the same episodes, but if you click on them and listen to them, it's going to have music behind it. So I'm going to do that. But if you don't want to listen to the music, if you don't want to listen to the Trucker Diary series with the music in it, you can go to the YouTube page and listen to it with the background that I have. I'm gonna try to work it out, you know what I mean? Because I know I'm doing this without a microphone. I'm doing this from an app, from a phone. So I know playing music, having music in the background while the sound quality of my vocals is not there because of all the background noises, I still think it'll be cool. So I'm gonna try it out and see what happens. But yeah, go to the SoundCloud page and these episodes will be loaded with music playing in the background. And if you don't want to listen to music, just hear my beautiful voice on YouTube with my lovely picture. Shout out to Obscure Looks for taking a photo. But yeah, that's what that is. That's where I'm going with it. And really, I'm just really creating different avenues of my creativity. Just putting things out there. I'm very seldom, especially when I was in film school. I went to Art Institute of Jacksonville. I got a film degree. But the things, all the videos and small projects that I was a part of, I never released them. I should have, but I always had this thing about fine-tuning it and doing some extra work before I release it, and I never done it because film is not really my passion. Music is, you know what I mean? And so a lot of the videos and things that I've made have never been released, and that comes back to haunt me because as an artist, or even as fans of artists, people want to see the artist grow and develop, and I've kind of not had that development of what I do. So so what I'm doing now is just expanding and releasing some content that is in my mind, along with further projects, further music that I'm going to be releasing. I'm going to be featured in a couple of other projects, a couple of other different albums. You know what I mean? So but yeah, I do regret not releasing the things that I've created while learning how to become a filmmaker, how to become a good editor, and how to, make music videos. I've never released those things. Because I'm just self-conscious and insecure. I always thought that whatever flaw, whatever, anything that was in the video as I was learning something new, I feel like it's gonna be pointed out, and that's what my creativity is gonna be based on, the flaws. And it's a fucked up way to think, but that's how my mind was. That's how weak and stubborn my mind was, because I should have released a lot of things and I didn't, and a lot of those things I may have to recover or something or fix, because I have a external hard drive, but it's busted, and it had all of those things that I've made on there. And so since I didn't release them, it may essentially be gone forever. You know what I mean? So that's a flaw on my part, and I may pay dearly from that. Yeah, so basically I dropped the hard drive. I was staying at someone's house, and I dropped the hard drive on a hard floor, and it kind of busted and opened up a little bit. And so I don't know, I didn't really see any components inside the hard drive that was, you know, disconnected or anything, but the skin, it was one of those thick ones. It was a 320 gig hard drive. I bought it a long time ago when the hard drives were slightly bigger and thicker. It was a Western Digital one. It was a 320 gig hard drive that I feel it has pretty much all of the videos and different projects that I've worked on throughout my film school. And you know, it busted and opened it up, and so all those things are in there. I don't know if I can get. I just never had, you know, I just never fixed it or tried to fix it, because I've just been working on other things, and I have several different hard drives since that point. You know what I mean? And most of my music is on those hard drives. So, but a lot of things that I've created has never seen the light of day because I didn't release it. And that's a flaw on my part. So the reason why, that's part of the reason why I'm doing this podcast, just stepping out, just giving some content. I can't be hands-on with my music because I'm doing this job and I'm creating a better way for myself, creating a better future for my creations. I'm doing that slowly but surely, you know. But I did have that flaw, and I don't want to do that no more. I don't want to have that flaw anymore. If I make something, I want to put it out. I want you to listen or pay attention or take it. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I didn't, and I haven't done that before. So that's all changing. I really am growing up. I really am maturing and just really harnessing the confidence that I never thought I had. And just utilizing my self-confidence, knowing who I am, knowing what quips I have, what quirks I have, and just not being scared of myself, not being afraid of being who I am. So yes, I do think that I'm a late bloomer, and there's some stuff still in my mind that. A lot of negative shit goes on and circulates throughout my mind and robs me of my creativity, because, you know, I start thinking negatively of myself and falling into depression and feeling not good enough and really being hard on myself, being down on myself, you know what I mean? And I don't want to do that no more. And I think essentially applying a healthy way of living, you know, eating healthier and just basically watching what I eat and exercising on a regular basis. Like, it really does help. It really does help. And I haven't done it on a wide. Well, my eating habits have changed, and I've been pretty consistent with that. But my working out hasn't been the most consistent. But I still, even with all that, I still see the change, and I see the growth in how I feel, how I do things, how I approach things. Like I feel, I do know, and I do feel that my mind is getting clearer, which is the main thing. Like, having a clear, sound mind is very important. And you know, and I struggle with that. I struggle with you know, with those thoughts, with those lingering thoughts that are not mine, It's just, in the atmosphere, or it just comes in and I hold on to it instead of just letting it pass me. Thoughts just come. You should let it pass you. If it's good for you, if it's actually helpful, yeah, analyze those. But what I do, I hold on to everything. Like, circumstances happen, I overthink it. I overanalyze everything that happens to the point where it robs me of a clear mind. So, but I do feel like I'm making a step to betterment, to greatness, to have a sharper mind, and living healthy, and living this healthy life is helping with that tremendously. So I hope you guys are doing the same. I do believe part of mental health is also having your body being healthy. You know what I mean? Improving your body will help with the mind. So because I'm a sensitive person, I feel everything, and so if I feel negative, I overthink that negativity. I take that pain and I overanalyze, and I overthink about the pain. You know what I mean? And instead of using pain or using raw emotion to create and be who I am, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things that I have to learn. And the more like I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I listen to a lot of different shows that are not on TV or not on the radio, and from what I'm seeing, a lot of people are just being more open about mental health, mental stability. A lot of people struggle with it, and especially Black people. I think as a Black person, we do carry a lot of the trauma. It's not like, when slavery was abolished, since the slavery was abolished, we're all good. No, I think when Black people were essentially free from that type of slavery, we still carried our trauma, and that trauma passes down through generations, through families, and so we carry that trauma heavily, and it weighs on us. Some people can break out of it. Some people can find a purpose and really really overcome those mental disabilities and things like that. Especially people who come from affluent places, cities where there's resources and things available for help. But I think essentially, I do suffer from mental health to the point where, but the thing with me is that, I think I have that, but at the same time, I sort of kind of made up my mind to like deal with it. You know what I mean? Deal with it. But seeking help does help. I mean, being open about it and being honest about it and talking with someone. I'm hearing all these different people listening to different podcasts, how people went to therapy and went to different things, and it changed their lives. I've never done such a thing, but I highly recommend it. But for me, the way I see it, whatever trauma, whatever circumstance, it sucks, and I pray about it, and I try to, be as open about it. But essentially, my approach is dealing with it, because sometimes the resources and the help that I would like are not, necessarily available. It is now, which is great, and I'm loving people who talk about it from an honest standpoint. You know what I mean? But I think I will probably go to some sort of therapy. You know what I mean? And just talk about some of the things that ails my mind a little bit. But I think that's what this is too. You know, it's this sort of therapy for me, expressing what's on my mind and my hang-ups and all these things. You know what I mean? And so it just helps me do that. So traffic is tough right now. Like 2 miles from the exit I need to go, and it's stop and go traffic right now. Heading to Lakeland. But yeah, I think this is therapy. I think this is therapy for me. You know, sometimes you can overcome things from the lacking of certain resources. Like the fact that I didn't have that type of help, like, might have helped me. You know what I mean? Like my experiences living through certain things really opened my eyes and helped me learn and see things from a different perspective, and knowing who I am through just life experiences. You know what I mean? But I think essentially, if you have access to help, go get help. If you know someone recommends, you know, someone's really invested in you, and they see that you struggling with some sort of mental instability or mental health, you know, and they recommend talking to a professional or talking to someone, yeah, do that. You know, those things have never happened to me, but it doesn't mean that I'm all good. You know, I sort of, and I'm still learning. I'm still not all good, you know, at this point. So I'm a struggling artist. I just want to make things and use my creativity and not be such a victim to this working environment. So I find ways to make something out of the circumstance that I'm in. So that's why I'm doing this, and I hope you guys do that too. I hope you guys out there who are struggling with depression, mental health, if you have the resources, go talk to someone professionally, or talk to someone who can listen, someone who can, you know, really relate to what you're going, or someone who actually listens. You know what I mean? So hope you guys are doing that. It's very important. But yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I'm hearing a lot of people who struggle, who are really open about struggling with their disabilities. And it's not, you know, 10, 15 years ago, that wasn't a thing. That wasn't a thing people talk about. I think most people just, you know, well, I gotta fucking just deal with it. And they deal with it through their creation, through how they create art. So, but the more people are open about it, the more, you know, the people who are not necessarily successful can look at them and say, oh wow, he struggles with this, he struggles, like, you know, there's a podcast with Mike Tyson. It's called Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. It's him and Evan Britton. They have guests, and they smoke weed, and they talk about weed, you know, legalizations. But you know, the guests that they have on there, they talk about their lives and their experiences. They have a few celebrities, a few musicians, athletes, or you know, former athletes, and people of that nature, to really explain their experience and how they became who they are. And it's really, you know, fascinating a lot of times. But even people like Mike Tyson, you know, he would be open about how he was afraid just about every fight that he was in. Being open about his struggles, handling all the fame and all of the things that he's experienced just from being a champion and boxing, one of the baddest mans on the planet, the baddest man on the planet, you know, and just watching him now being open about his struggles, his addictions, and all the crazy experiences that he's had. I just love that. I love doing that. And so and people are just being open about the things even today they struggle with. And so I think that's a great thing. some people don't agree. There are people who I've talked to, the people who are close to me have said they've went through therapy, and it doesn't really help. It's just you're talking about your problems, and you tell them, and they don't get the necessary help that they would need, or maybe they had a bad experience. I don't know. So some people don't believe therapy is good, but I do. I really do. I do, and that's from a person who hasn't been through any therapy. But I think mental health is key. I think mental health is important. But so is your body. So I hope you guys are out there. Living a healthy life, or implementing a healthy life, or just trying different things to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys are doing that. That's what I'm doing. So I don't know what the hell is going on. I am at a standstill on I-4 outside of Lakeland, still within 2 miles of the exit I need to go. So but it is what it is. They told me the load that I'm picking up may not even be ready anyway, so I'm in no hurry, and I'm getting extra time to talk to you beautiful people, if you're listening, you beautiful ears out there. Just taking time, see what Mike is saying, see what is he talking about today. So but yeah, Shenmue 3 is delayed. I'm growing up as a person, maturing with my mind and my body, implementing health, having sex regularly, as regularly as I can. Have a girl who loves me. I love my son. And pretty soon I'm gonna have him in the truck with me. I want him, riding with me, just to have I don't spend that much time with him, and that's another thing I want to change, because I'm a father. My son needs me, and I also need him. I also need my son. I also need his love, his curiosity, his openness. I need the time. I just need the time with him. I'm making changes. I'm growing up. I'm spending more time with him. I got on this account. To spend more time with him. That was the goal. So I'm sort of implementing. I'm doing that right now. So, but I want to take it to the next level. I want to, just be there. Just be there with him while he's growing up. So apparently there's a wreck up here. Do I have to go all the way to the right? It's on the left. It's a 4-lane highway. I'm on the second lane from the right. And it looks like the wreck is on the left side all the way to the median. So I don't know if I have to get all the way to the far right, but I'm just trucking along, literally, figuratively. It looks like there were people outside the car, so it probably was a pretty bad accident. But be careful out here on these streets, guys. You know what I'm saying? Please be careful, stay alert. Limit the distractions. No distractions while you're driving. You know what I'm saying? Just keep your eyes on the road, especially on highways where you're going 70 plus. You know what I'm saying? Just stay alert out there, please, guys. A lot of accidents, a lot of lives have been lost needlessly. So, I got you, man. Somebody's trying to wave me in. I'm not gonna be a dick. So, but yes, always be safe, guys. Please. Drive safely. Be Be careful. Stay alert, please. Okay, the fire truck is entering the highway now, I think. Can't really see what's going on because there's another truck in my way. But it seems like there's one car off the road, there's another one in the road. Oh, yeah, okay. Busted, oh, there was a collision, okay. Collision with, looks like 2 cars. Someone rammed into the back of someone. And it looked pretty bad, so it looks like they were going pretty fast, so. But now I just passed it, and now I'm continuing on. About to hit up Lakeland, switch loads, and put this thing on pause, and, you know. But yeah, health. Health. Peace to health. So, NBA Finals, series is still tied to, oh no, excuse me, tied 1-1. I think game 3 is going to be tonight, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be in Oakland, back to Golden State. You know, Golden State took got an away game. It's one of those things where it's like, can Toronto steal one in Oakland? So, I think they can. You know, anything can happen. So, especially after Andy Ruiz Jr., the new heavyweight champion of the world, took out Anthony Joshua, you know. So, shook up the boxing world, you know what I mean? And I was listening to Stephen A. this morning. You know, he's he's basically saying, since, you know, this is what hurts boxing. I kind of agree with him, but I don't 100% agree. He was saying that this is what's wrong with boxing. You know, we wanted the 2 undefeated. Everybody wanted Joshua versus Wilder. Everybody wanted to see that 2 heavyweights at the prime of their career, both undefeated, to face each other. But now, since Joshua lost, is one of those things that it's a waste. It's a loss of opportunity. It's a waste of opportunity because, you know, because careers change after you get a loss in boxing. Like, shit happens, and plus he's not Joshua's not undefeated anymore. Even though he was beat by a really good boxer. Like, I found out that Andy Ruiz Jr. had a much more amateur experience than Joshua and Wilder. Had a lot of amateur fights, and he's 32-1. 32. He only had 1 loss. So he doesn't look the part, but he fights the part. He let his hands go. He got dropped, got up, let his hands go, and he's a good fighter. He's a really good fighter. And of course right now he's the man to beat now. He has 3 belts. But yeah, I do agree with Stephen A.'s point, because it was kind of like when everybody was waiting for the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. I was hoping they'd fight in 2010, 2011. But Mayweather, Mayweather didn't want to fight him at his prime. That's what it comes down to. He didn't want to fight Pacquiao at his prime. So we just waited and waited. And then during that time, Pacquiao experienced some losses. There's a few that are controversial. Controversial. See, I'm trying to say everything right. Controversial. And yeah, Pacquiao's been through losses. The loss to Bradley the first time, which, come on, he won. Got knocked out by Marquez when they fought the 4th time. And then he lost to Jeff Horn. And so, well, he lost to Jeff Horn after the Mayweather fight. But I'm just saying, he had 2 big losses. And it was kind of like that fight the mega fight, the super mega fight, the Mayweather Pacquiao, was postponed, and Mayweather was kind of using that excuse, like, look at Pacquiao, he's been losing, he's not ready for me, he's not undefeated like me, and it was kind of using that as leverage to a degree, you know, until Pacquiao's completely out of his prime, and they're both kind of in their late 30s. That's when they decided to fight. You know what I mean? And so, and that's kind of what's going on right now. Like everybody wanted the Joshua Wilder fight, and now you had an upset, and it fucks everything up when they could have fought all along. So I agree with Stephen A. on that point. But I don't believe that the fight would never be made. But it is. Yeah, I do agree with Stephen A. It's not the fight that we wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the records has been tarnished. Like, there's losses. Like, if Deontay Wilder gets a loss, he's fighting a rematch with Ortiz. And I think he said he's going to have the rematch with the Tyson Fury shit, which that would be cool, too. But if he loses one of those fights, then maybe that generates a new interest, because now you have two, you know, flawed, not perfect fighters fighting each other. You know what I mean? I still think the fight will be made. It's not the same now, because the, you know, one guy is not undefeated anymore, and it kind of it's a bummer. It really is. So and everybody, all these all these little social media guys, they're just shitting on Anthony Joshua. Like, you know, but I have seen some posts where people come correct and say, you know, dude, you know, just because a person has a loss doesn't tarnish his legacy. You know, Joshua is a great fighter. He took out one of the main heavyweights, the reigning heavyweight champion, who's been defending his title since the beginning of time, seems like. Anthony Joshua took that guy out. Oh, come on, dude. See, I got an arrow and I gotta wait for this truck. Oh, this is bullshit. What are y'all doing? You just going, huh? I mean, whatever. God damn it. Like, the arrow, I had a left turn arrow, but I had to wait for the truck, and then like two other cars behind the truck was like, hey, fuck it, I'll go with them. So whatever. But I just don't think, and I'm gonna come back to this point once I return, because I'm here in Lakeland now, about to do this thing here. I just don't think, I don't think it tarnishes what you know, what could be an ultimately great fight. It's just the fact that they're not undefeated anymore. I think Mayweather set this crazy fucking precedence to be undefeated, to be a superstar, to be great, and it's like every great fighter has losses. Every single one of them, they have losses, except for Mayweather. And to me, Mayweather lost 3 times. I talked about that before. But the great Muhammad Ali has losses. The great Sugar Ray Robinson has losses. Julio Cesar Chavez has losses. You know, and there's some out there who are undefeated. There was 49-0. Was it Rocky Marciano? He was 49-0. He was undefeated. And then you had Joe Calzaghe. He's undefeated. Andre Ward, of course. You know. But Calzaghe is not as great as Ward. Ward is a better fighter than, you know. But, okay, right now I'm going to pause it, so chill. And just like that, I'm back. Welcome back, folks. It is fucking hot. God damn. It's really hot down here in Florida. You know what I'm saying? It is fucking hot. Alright, but yeah, back what I was saying about the boxing, the undefeated motherfuckers, the Floyd Mayweathers, you know, so for some reason boxing fans have this precedence that you get one loss and your career is somehow just over. Like you just can't bounce back from that. You're not perfect. You're blemished. No, man, fuck that. I think Joshua will eventually fight Wilder, even though it won't happen this year or most likely the next year. But, and it's not for sure. You can't assume that Wilder is even going to win his, next couple of fights. He's fighting a rematch, so the Ortiz is hungry. And then you got Fury again, which the first time in a draw. So we don't have a clear winner from that fight. So I mean, Fury can outbox him. You know, he's got the tools, and apparently, and he's tasted Wilder's punches. So you don't even know if that's gonna Wilder's gonna beat them automatically. So I mean, the heavyweight division is already hard. I don't think I can remember any heavyweight undefeated fighters. If there is such a thing, like I got to search in history, but are there any undefeated heavyweight champs? I don't. Besides Wilder right now, but he has a draw. So I mean, is that still undefeated? I don't know, but and there's Tyson Fury, but they both have draws. So I mean, other than them two, I mean, I'm just searching in history if there's any heavyweight champions that ended their career undefeated. I don't know. I can't. Andre Ward, but he's not heavyweight. He was a super middleweight and then ended up in light heavy. It ended there. All the greats have losses. Mike Tyson has losses. Vander Holyfield has losses. Riddick Bowe has losses. Lennox Lewis has losses. Klitschko has losses, both of them. So other than those two, Wilder and Fury, I can't think of any undefeated heavyweight boxer who ended his career undefeated. I don't know. But I mean, you're in the heavyweight division. You're most likely going to take an L at least once in your career because you're fighting heavyweights. They're heavier. If one, say if it's a lucky punch, can knock you the fuck out. You know what I mean? I mean, that can happen any weight, but more so with the heavyweights because you still got the, because the heavyweights' heads are just as fragile as a lightweight's head. You know what I'm saying? You're taking punches, it's damage. So if you have the same type of head, a human head weighs 8 pounds, some give or take. Depends on how big you are or whatever, but essentially it can only take so much trauma. So if you have heavyweight hands getting punched at you, you're probably gonna get knocked out. Or at least knocked down in your career if you're a heavyweight. So I still think Joshua Wilder, if they ever fight, and hopefully they will, I still think that would be an epic fight. It just won't be to the point where there are two undefeated boxers in their prime. I mean, we pretty much won't get that nowadays. You won't get two prime fighters undefeated and fighting each other. They're gonna have their different promotions and different excuses or whatever, and there's warm-up fights and all this seasoning the boxers and stuff. I mean, in the welterweight, you got the big talk of Crawford versus Spence, but I think that fight probably won't happen this year. So it's like, I don't know. I just don't know what, but two prime guys never meet in their prime. They wait until one of them takes an L or one of them is a little bit older, or but you're not gonna get it nowadays anyway. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get it. UFC has a better, you have a better chance of seeing that in UFC. But the problem with UFC, nobody goes undefeated in the UFC. In MMA, no one goes undefeated. You know what I'm saying? I don't follow UFC as much as I do boxing. But I don't even know if there's any undefeated champions that exist in UFC right now. I don't know of any. I think John Jones, he's highly regarded as one of the greatest. I think he has losses. I think. I know Anderson Silva has losses, and I know some of these other guys. They have Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. They all have losses. So I don't know. And even on the ladies' side, Ronda Rousey has losses. You know, she took a major L. But I don't know. It's just being defeated, having a loss is still Anthony Joshua is still a great fighter. He's still gonna be great. He's still gonna be all right. He was blindsided. He got shocked. He took his opponent lightly, which you should never do, and he knows that. And it's not like he's putting up any sort of excuse or anything. You know, he actually congratulated the boxer. You know, Andy Ruiz came to box. He came to fucking win. You always have to have that mindset. You know, you can't take anybody lightly. So Joshua knows that, and he'll be back in the ring. And he's gonna dominate the heavy. He's gonna get his belts back, one way or another. I believe that. So as long as he stays healthy and implements, you know, or corrects his mistakes, he'll be fine. And you know, keep your hands up. The simple things is keeping your hands up, using your height, using your reach better. You know, don't jab too close. Things like that. Don't jab too close to him, where you can get countered with a hook, with one of his wild hooks. Things like that. You know, straighten your punches a little more. Those are things that I see. I'm not even a boxing expert by any means. That's what I see. You know, using his jab more and staying on the outside more. And then if he comes close, if he's able to get in close with you, you know, keep your hands up, keep your hands tight, and, you know, get some of them uppercuts in there. You know what I'm saying? Pop his head out. He's a shorter guy. If he's in your face like that, pop him up. Pop him up. That's what I see. But I just, those are just untrained fucking boxing fan eyes. That's what those are. So, but you know, I think those big fights will get made. It's just there was a setback, and Anthony Joshua, to him, you know, he calls it a minor setback. I think it's a little bit more than minor, but I mean it is to his eyes. It's a minor setback, so I take him at his word. It's a minor setback. It's a loss. It's one loss. With all of the wins that he accrued, he has one loss in his record, and it's not the end of his career by a long shot. So I think he'll be fine. You know what I mean? I wanted him to win. I was rooting for that guy because I wanted the Joshua versus Wilder. I think Joshua is a better skilled boxer than Wilder. Wilder has a lot more power, but not really a lot more. You know what I'm saying? But he does have more power than Joshua. But that's not all that it takes to be a champion. If he fights, because he had struggles with Fury. He had struggles with getting rid of Ortiz. You know, and he's gonna rematch Ortiz right now. And so those guys have a little. Okay, come on, get leaking over. And those guys have more. Those guys have more boxing skill. I think pretty much all the boxers, all the opponents that Wilder has gotten rid of, they have some sort of, at least a fundamental knowledge of how to box. And Wilder started way later. He started at 20 years old. You know what I mean? So I think his rematch is going to be a better fight, and the rematch with Fury is going to be a better fight. And I'm not certain that he's going to win those fights. So, you know what I mean? And so that's what that is. And I think that's just my take on it, you know? So, but other than that, you know, life is well. I hope you guys are making love. I hope you guys had some good love sessions last night before you got to work. You know, you feel in charge. You're feeling, you feel like love, like empowers you or gives you confidence. You're a little bit more secure of yourself, you know. Not that you need that to convince yourself or to love yourself, because you should love yourself first before, you know, any of that. But I hope you guys are making sweet love to your spouses, to your babies, to your loved ones. Just making good love, sweet love. That's all I'm about. So I hope you guys are doing that. I hope you guys are drinking. You know, I got my Eternal water. Oh, I just watched a video. You know, before I started recording, I watched a video. There was this guy who had I don't even know what it's called. It's like an alkaline tester, which is you take this alkaline substance or whatever. It's like an alkaline tester. And so what he did, he tried different. I think it was like 28 brands of water, from Dasani, Aquafina, all the way to Eternal and Fiji and all those waters, including the ones that are not global, because I think he was in New York, so he really compared the New York water. And what he did, he just tested the pH balance of all these different water brands. And so he started with New York's tap water, which they said New York's tap water is is like the best tap water that you can drink. And so he tested the alkaline levels on that, and that one, and I think that one was pretty much neutral, like 7, like you know, going from 1 to, I think if it's less than 7, yeah, if it's less than 7, it's acidic, and if it's more than 7, it's alkaline, which is better for you. I think your blood, the blood in the human body is alkaline base, is 7.4 or higher, you know, so you should drink more alkaline water. So the higher, I think, the better, and you know, there's a lot of benefits to that. But this guy, you know, tested the pH levels on all these waters. He tested Dasani, which came up acidic, Aquafina acidic, and some of these waters were more acidic than like Sprite Zero, because he tested the pH on Sprite Zero, which is not a water, you know, it's just a carbonated drink. And so he tested that, and some of the waters that he tested were more acidic than the Sprite Zero. So, but I did find out that Fiji is alkaline. It's right there. It's like right between 7, because it's color coded. When the pH test, the alkaline test that he conducted, it was color coded. And after he dropped the drops in the water, and if it was color, and so if it came up like yellow or kind of like reddish or whatever, it's acidic. But if it's alkaline, it's like blue, very blue to purple. Purple being the highest, like up to 9 and 10 levels. And it was only like 2 of them that had that. But some of the waters that he tried Dasani, Aquafina, Fiji Smart Water, and several different other ones. So he tried 28 different ones. Core, Voss, and I think Voss ended up being acidic. And a lot of people thought that it was, you know, it's good water. It's you know, no, it's acidic. Fiji water is good. Smart Water is right there, right on. I think it's the perfect balance. Eternal water, which I'm drinking, is 8, so that's alkaline. So basically, a lot of the spring waters are acidic. Aquafina, Dasani, and there's another one I can't think of the name, but I highly recommend it. You know, you find them out. But he basically tested 28 different brands, and it was only a handful of them that were alkaline based, and some were even acidic to the point where it's worse than soda. Like it's strange. And I think Voss was one of them. Voss was acidic, Dasani was, and Aquafina was. They were all acidic, and I kind of thought those were. So and ever since I've learned about just watching Dr. Sebi videos and other videos on alkaline based water, you know, I've learned that drinking alkaline water is a lot better for you. So I've been doing that, And right now I'm drinking Eternal water, which I believe from watching the video and seeing the guy conduct the test that it's pH level 8, which is good, which is alkaline. So that's what I've been drinking. I've been going back and forth with Eternal, whatever's available. But every time I go to Winn-Dixie and stock up for the week, you know, while I'm on the road, I get Eternal water. But throughout the week, if I just run out from just drinking all the waters, I go to like a truck stop or something, and they usually have Smart Water or Core water. And I'm not even sure about Core. I think Core is right as balanced. It's like 7.4. So you can't go by what they say, because some of them say they're alkaline and they're not. I can't remember which ones. So you got to watch it, look at it for yourself. But Fiji water checks out. Smart water is good, right on the levels. But I think Smart water has an alkaline-based water. So, and I think theirs is 9. So the guy on the video just tested the regular Smart water, the original Smart water, but they came out with Smart water alkaline and Smart water antioxidant. So I think either one of those is helpful. But if I go to a truck stop or something and they have Smart water, I would get that. Or if they have Fiji water, I would get that. Or I would just get, if they have, and a lot of them don't have it. If they have the alkaline-based Smart water, I stock up on those. So, but right now I'm enjoying Eternal water, and but yeah, I recommend that you guys check out the video for that and read more about alkaline versus acidic water, because a lot of these waters, this bottled water, a lot of people, you know, there's a lot of people who don't drink tap water, and the only way they'll drink water is from bottled water. And this bottled water industry is really, there's so many different brands, so many different companies making them, and but a lot of them aren't good for you. So just keeping that in mind. I mean, if you want to take it to that level, I think drinking water in general is very good for you. And before we had this knowledge, we were just drinking water from the tap. You know, but this industry came at pretty much the mid to late 90s, and everybody's drinking bottled water. So, but it's good to decipher which water is good for you. And so get alkaline-based water is better for you. So I hope you guys are doing that. And look into it and find out more information. I'm always, you know, learning about different things. So just living this healthy life, man. It's a task, but it doesn't have to be strenuous. It doesn't, like, at the end of the day, I make the decision what I'm going to put in my body, and everything that I put in my body, you know, is not the healthiest, but majority of what I put in my body is healthy because of what I've learned and what I've implemented and what I'm continuing to learn. So basically, yeah, I would say 85 to 90% of what I put in my body is healthy. So, but I'm still learning, and so it may diminish, it may decrease, but hopefully it's increasing the more I go along, the more I know, you know. So but I hope you guys are doing that as well, you know, living a healthy life, being consistent with your workout, having sex, and getting enough sleep, getting, you know, good amount of sleep every night, every day, not only for your body but for your mind. And I think, you know, living a healthy and putting healthy food in your body will help with your mind, and it will help with mental issues and depression and things like that. Being just living healthier helps with the mind. So that's all I got to say about that. So I hope you guys are doing it. I hope you guys are living well. I found out there was a story in Florida where there was a guy who, okay, I watched The Breakfast Club, and Charlemagne the God does the donkey of the day, and the one I've watched this morning, I think it was from yesterday, was a guy in Florida who got the donkey of the day because he was he ended up killing his spouse, his girlfriend or wife, from sexual foreplay. The way he did it was he had a gun. He was using a gun as a form of foreplay, sexual foreplay. It was loaded. He thought that he had the safety on, but he ended up, you know, they were having foreplay. The gun went off, killed the girl, and now he's on trial for manslaughter. It's fucking crazy. Like, why the hell, if you're gonna do it with the gun, which that's already problematic enough, already stupid enough. Why in the hell would you have a loaded gun, even if you think the safety is on, even if the safety is on? Why do you have a loaded gun in as part of your foreplay, as part of, you know, if you want to take it that far? Why would you have it loaded? You know what I'm saying? Why? Like, why would you have gun in the first place as part of your foreplay anyway? Like, having a loaded gun is, oh my god. But yeah, he's on trial. I think he's on trial for manslaughter, because, you know, shot his girl from sexual foreplay. That's fucking ridiculous. But it happened in Florida. And crazy stories always happen in fucking Florida, man. I don't know what it is. We're just crazy down here. If we're not doing meth, if we're not fucking on Trump's dick all the time, and, you know, and we're just doing crazy shit all the time down in Florida. We're shooting up gay people. We're fucking weird. We have this fucking stupid ass stand your ground law, which is not a fucking good law at all, you know. And so we're just crazy down here, and that's one of those crazy fucking stories that happened in Florida within the last few days. So, but that's what that is. I just thought to bring it up. I just happened to watch it this morning, you know what I'm saying? As I'm sort of getting my thoughts together on what I'm gonna talk about on these Trucker Diary series. But that's fucked up, man. There's a lot of deaths that are unnecessary, of course, but there have been a lot of deaths of just needless deaths. Like, people die from freak accidents all the time, or just, I mean, people die from freak accidents. I get that, because it can happen to anybody, but doing extra shit, like having a gun as part of your sexual foreplay, as part of your sexual arousal or interest or anything, just having a gun, having something that can harm you or kill you, having that part of your sexual life, that seems unnecessary. It seems needless. You don't need that. Someone died from a needless act. And we just have to think about, what the hell are we doing here? Like, that's why I always say things like, please stay alert on these streets, because I see accidents, if not every day, you know, every other day. And that's just in Florida. My routes are just Florida only. Everything east of 75, essentially, basically. I don't go any farther west than I-75. And I see wrecks all the time from a portion of the state, a percentage of the state, from what as far as my routes are concerned, where I go. I just spend a good percentage of Florida, but it's just a percentage. And I see wrecks happen just about every day. I go on the same roads. I take the same route, basically, unless it's a detour or something like that. I go the same way, and I see wrecks happen just about every other day on these roads. I-75, I-95, I-4, 301. Some of the beltways around the cities, 295 around Jacksonville, 275 around Tampa, and all these different and these are just major highways. I'm not even talking about some of the rural roads that I take sometimes. But the main streets that I take are the highways, and I see wrecks happen all the time. And highways are people going 70 plus. Some of these highways are 65, but you know, when it gets, you know, out of the city limits, it goes up to 70. But people are going pretty much 70, 75 plus. And around these big cities, with in Orlando, you got a lot of sports cars, and they're going even faster. So it's like you got to deal with that. I see it every day. A lot of these deaths are controlled, or you can control you can avoid those. That's the word I'm looking for. Avoidable deaths. A lot of these deaths are avoidable if we just stay alert and just pay attention. So I hope you guys do that. But yeah, it's a Tuesday. It's June. You know, it's the middle of the year. I know every time there's New Year, people talk about resolutions. That's not even a word you use now, right now in this time of year. And I always have an issue with people just always talking about resolution. What's your resolution? Like, the time of the year doesn't matter. Like, resolve yourself throughout the year, throughout your life. Like, make changes or implement things that you didn't implement that are healthy for you at any point of your life. Because time, as we know it, this clock is not a representation of time. It's really, it isn't. The clock, as we know it, was created by Pope Gregory the 7th or the 5th. It's called the Gregorian calendar from Pope Gregory, and it's designed for us to pay taxes. The word calendar is Latin for address book. Calendar is the Latin form of calendar is calendus, if I'm saying it correctly, and it literally means address book. And it's designed for us to keep track of when we have to pay taxes. That's time. But natural time, as we know it, is not necessarily represented in numbers. I mean, numbers are a part of it, and this is, I'm just scratching the surface of this, what I'm finding out. But time is not just represented in just numbers. It's not digital. We've sort of used the Gregorian calendar, the time as we know it. Yeah, we use that. That's digital. But if I've heard it was said that if you synchronize two watches, like if you have a watch and I have a watch, the same watch, same type of watch, and we synchronize them or calibrate them to the same exact time, to the second, and then if nothing happens to the watch, to our watches, 80 years from now, our watches, the time of the watch will be different. You know what I'm saying? It will be completely different. It may be by a few seconds, maybe by a minute or something. But our time in the same exact clock will be different when we look at them 80 years from now. Oh, you know what I mean? I've heard that said before on different things that I would read and watch. And I think it makes sense because you can't fully digitize natural time. You can't digitize it. We were so used to this Gregorian calendar and this clock. We're used to it. That's how we govern our lives. But that's not a true representation of time. Natural time goes with the seasons, goes with the moon cycles. I think the term month comes from moon. There's a full moon every 28 days. So that's like the Mayan time, the Mayan calendar is more, I don't know if it's perfectly synchronized with it, but it's a lot more synchronized with the natural time and the moon cycles than the time as we know it. So if you ever watched the Matrix, the first Matrix, when Morpheus is introducing Neo to the ships and to the Nebuchadnezzar and explaining to him, what everything is and how it works and everything. Morpheus told Neo that we honestly don't know what time it is. And he said in your world it's 1999, which when the movie came out. In your world is 1999, but 1999. Sorry, your world is 1999, but in away from the Matrix, out here in the real world, we don't know what real time is. So it's probably closer to 2199. He said, "There's nothing that I can say to help you understand it, but we don't really know what time is." I'm paraphrasing a line there, but go back and watch that movie. Morpheus explaining to Neo, we don't know what real time is, and I think he's referring to natural time, like, because we don't know what that is. We don't know because we don't represent natural time with numbers, with digital numbers, so we don't essentially know what time it is. So going back to, people having resolutions, like, you can make resolutions at any point of your life. It's part of your human growth. It's part of natural time. Because we are affected by the moon cycles. Because everything is consciousness. Everything is. We're all in this together. Like, what you do today affects me tomorrow. Like, what you do, out in Belgium affects me here in Florida. So a very minute, probably unseen by the naked eye on that level, but it's still, we are impacted by everything. So you can't digitize all of those things. So the clock is not a true representation of time. So if you know in your heart that it's time to do something, of course you have to make the choice and do what you got to do. But if you feel something, like, there's no age limit. You know what I mean? Age is just a number, and that age number is based on Gregorian calendar, the time. Like, I'm 36 years old, based on the years, based on the clock, the calendar. You know what I mean? So even that is tied into the digital time as we know it. But whenever you're in a situation where you have to make a tough decision that's gonna essentially alter your life in some way, it's probably your time to do it. Because that time can happen at any point, in any age, any point of your life. And I hope you make the best decision for yourself. Make the decision that will enable you to have a clear mind and loving yourself and making a decision to better your life. But if you feel that, if you feel it in your heart, because we are affected by spiritual nature, things we can't see with our physical eyes, but things are happening, things affect us, and so we get information, we get intuition, we get all of these things from things we don't see. And so if you feel something in your heart that it's time to make a change, it's probably your time to do that, because it's your time, it's your natural time. So I can't tell you, like, you should try to do something at 15 years old, or, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter what time you do it, as long as you do it at your time. And so timing is everything, as they say. So, but I know a part of our life is this rat race, and it's hustling, trying to get the most dollars as you can. It's this rat race, and it's this constant competition trying to do that, trying to get your money up. You know what I mean? And so a lot of our energy is spent on that. But I believe there are greater purposes than accumulation of wealth. There are greater purposes that we don't even know about, because we're chasing. I mean, I'm working right now for money to sort of better my life and the societal situations. So I get that, and I'm part of the rat race, and I get it. But there's more. There's a greater purpose than that. And so, and I try to implement my creativity and get my hands involved, because a part of my journey of life and trying to figure out my purpose, and a lot of that is trial and error, figure out what I can't do. I went to film school, but I'm not a really good filmmaker or director or anything. I like playing a part of creating a film, being part of a good crew, a good production crew, and implementing the skills that I've learned to that task. But I'm not a director. I'm not a filmmaker. I can write scripts. I can do that. I can I can edit films. I can so there's different things that I can do as far as creating film, like different parts. But I know I can't direct. Like I've directed a TV show, a local TV show, Music for You, but it ended up not being for me. You know what I'm saying? It ended up, directing was not for me at the time. I mean, it may be in the future, but it's one of those things where I find out something that I cannot do. So don't waste time trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of life is trial and error, because I've just sort of created ways for me to do something different and be creative. That's part of my journey, my life, my sabbatical, if you will, whatever. And it was part of the reason why I left church, I left that identity, because I wanted to utilize my creativity, create with my own brain, my own mind, and not be filtered or limited because of religion. That's part of the reason why I got out of church, because I thought it was kind of just subjugating my creativity to a degree. It's not designed to do that, but from my experience, it's done that, and I don't want to be a part of that anymore. So since I've left, my journey has been, a lot of trial and error, finding out what I can't do. I'm interested in that. Okay, let me try. Okay, that doesn't feel. I don't like doing this, or I don't do this well. So I'm not going to spend more time doing that. And I know a lot of it. I've done those things in major forms and in minor forms. Like in major forms, I went to school for some of these things. I went to school for filmmaking, and I have student debt because of that. And that's that's one of those things that happens. That's a gamble, and I'm gonna have to pay for that on the back end. And so that ended up not being the best idea. But I did it, and I have experience, and I've gained a lot of friends. I've gained a lot of, and I've implemented my passion while going to film school. I was still performing. I was still, doing shows. I was still making music videos and having my film around music, centered around music. I've done that. But yeah, I think most of our lives is finding out what you cannot do. And a lot of successful people found out that they wanted to do something at an early age, and they stuck with it. And that's what, they had the proper, they were in the right place at the right time. They had the best mentor or the best teacher of that skill that they possess. Everything lined up for them. Their path was sort of laid out, but some people have to make their path. And I said this before, sometimes you just gotta make your own path. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm just trying different things, finding out what works and what doesn't work, what suits me and what doesn't suit me. But when that time happens, that natural time where it's like, okay, now I know it's clear what I need to do, I'll make that choice, and not to lean on my insecurities, myself, hopefully, and not lean on my insecurities and my self-consciousness, and really love myself and do what I'm supposed to do, and not stop the movement because of my own illnesses and mental instability and things like that. So, but yeah, so learn about natural time and learning how maybe it affects you or me to a degree. So, but I love learning. I love doing certain things. I love, living this life. Just enjoying the process, enjoying eating healthy, and learning about different ways to be healthy. I'm learning a lot of things, and I'm enjoying it. So I hope you guys are doing it too. How long? Oh, it's been an hour and a half. I've been running my mouth. So, but yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. This is the Trucker Diary series. This is Mr. Mike. Continue to stay tuned. Please listen, please share, subscribe. Just tell other people and comment and do it, you know, just take a listen. I appreciate you. And if you're out there, I love you. This is Mr. Mike. It's the Trucker Diary series, Music Illumination Consciousness. I love you. Peace.